tertiary professional education. They have been associated with BNM from many years, and I have known Madam Mahalakshmi from the past 2 years, and that's an incredible amount of energy and effort she puts into to get these girls onto the actual tech jobs. They have reached out for more than 4,500 students pan-India. They've partnered with our college also and with a lot of other colleges. They help students from economically challenged backgrounds or those who are located in rural underserved areas. They have gone virtual also, and as a response, they have posed a lot of, due to the COVID, a lot of online seminars and tech talks have been arranged. And at BNM also, we have been recipient to this, and a lot of our students have used this. They take care to give scholarships to a lot of students, and this helps them. Further, they have also provided laptops to students to help them with the current problem that is there for the digital access. Personally, I've seen Mahalakshmi Madam work from Indian time. She's currently in Berlin, but she works from morning Indian time to night Berlin time. And anytime you call her, she's there. She's always supporting us. We have conducted a lot of webinars and hands-on sessions in the past years where students have benefited. And the kind of people that Madam's foundation is associated with, who come to us and help our students, the kind of support that is there, it's incredible. I thank you for that, Madam. And today we have with us Mr. Mohammad Nadeem Shaikh, Ms. Sudakshina Ghosh, and Mr. Bala. Now they will be introduced to you by Madam Mahalakshmi. Okay, but I welcome all of you all, sir, and Madam Sudakshina. Before we start off, students, yes, thank you, sir. Before we start off, students, I would recommend that you keep this paper and pen in your hand and note down the kind of guidance that will be going to be given, because these are people who are professionally very accomplished, who are working from the past, ranging, their experience ranges right from 12 years to 21 years. They're very successful where they are, and they're going to give you those tidbits that are very, very important for your career. Please note down, make it a point to have a book and pen in your hand and note down. At the end of the session, please feel free to reach out to them and ask them any kind of doubts that you have. So once more, student, a warm welcome to all of you, to all the staff who are here. And ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Sarita ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. And thank you for inviting Ananya to, work with BNMIT, which is doing a wonderful job as usual. We know people in BNMIT for long, and I know you people are all very dedicated. It's very inspiring for us, and that's one of the reasons we keep coming back to BNMIT. Thank you for inviting us for this orientation process also. And today, as Sarita ma'am said, we've got Balasubramanian, we've got Nadeem, we've got Sudakshina from SAP. SAP has also been walking this, walk the talk, as we call it, with Ananya. It's been a very inclusive journey. I mean, they've been for us whenever we ask them, when we request them. This request went out to us, to them a few days ago, and we have people from SAP standing here, and it's very, very humbling. And thank you all three, for actually agreeing for all this. I know you're all very busy people. It's not easy, and you've been juggling too many things, and the COVID challenges have not made it easy. I mean, it's been one continuous day. There's really no break. Yet you take time out. Really appreciate that. Students, good morning, very warm welcome. I know this is the first, this is a process that you're going through to become a student, get oriented to the academic process. I just would, that would be, spoken by the speakers of today, but I just kind of, this is something that I want to start off this session with. Dr. Sarita ma'am has actually spoken about Ananya. Ananya is not-for-profit, and we support first-generation learners. So in fact, I request all the students here who are meritorious, especially women, first generation learners, to actually come and probably approach Dr. Sarita ma'am and whoever is in charge now. I mean, she would probably guide you all to, if you would need scholarships. This is something that we would want to announce here. That's one of the reasons I have come. And we're looking at basically supporting you all with scholarships as well as digital access. So just reach out and come to to our due diligence process. There will be a due diligence process. We are looking at meritorious as well as first generation learners from economically challenged backgrounds. Other than that, we will be in touch through various sessions that we hold. When we talk about sessions, we're looking at employability skills. When we mean employability skills, this is a little beyond academics. We are looking at skills that are probably will hold you in good stead to actually bridge the gap from college to campus, ensure that you get work ready. And we are going to be, I mean, you will be meeting Ananya in various avatars as a mentoring session. It could be a training session, it could just be a session on life skills, it could just be, we are also looking at having sessions on how to manage your personal finances. So we're going to do a lot of things. So hopefully we get to meet again soon. All the best. I would now take, I'm going to be reading out about the people, the speakers today. Sorry about that, but I definitely don't want to miss out on any interesting tidbits that they have given in their introduction. To start off with, I'm going to be starting with Nadeem. Nadeem Sheikh has 12 plus years of experience in various roles in IT industry. He has started as a developer. He's currently serving as program lead and senior value advisor in Ariba Analytics under intelligent data and analytics. He helps customers realize their potential in procurement processes. He's passionate about people development. He is a solution focused life coach, helping individuals to be the best they can be and discover their true potential through coaching. He is also a design thinking coach and enthusiast with keen interest and passion on innovation. He has mentored various events within and outside SAP, like Young Social Entrepreneur Workshop by Singapore International Foundation, Code the Curve Hackathon Teams by UNESCO, Technovation Idea Lab on artificial intelligence for girls from 6 countries, internal teams at Innovators Challenge. He is an active volunteer too, with primary focus on education. He has also been there for Ananya all the time, and his design thinking, sessions are very, very popular. Thank you for that. The other person I go to is Sudakshina Ghosh. I mean, you have to listen to her today. You'll realize, I mean, the value she brings in. She is an industry business architect team lead, industry and customer advisory practice, SAP India. Sudakshina has 18 plus years of experience in IT industry as a business process and technology strategy consultant. Currently, as part of the industry and customer advisory leadership team, Sudakshina leads the industry business architect team across various industry verticals. Uh, Consumer products, pharma, automotive, discrete manufacturing, and professional services. She has worked across a diverse range of customers in the Indian subcontinent and in the US. In her role as a digital business and industry leader, Sudakshina is an advisor to leading customers of SAP in India and globally. She has been in sales leadership roles and is now evangelizing SAP's industry's cloud solutions portfolio with customers and ecosystem partners. She's associated with World Economic Forum Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution as an AI expert and practitioner. She's passionate about developing women leaders, expanding the reach of education for girl students, and sustainability. Sudakshina is an MBA in Marketing and Finance from XLR Jamshedpur and an engineer from Bengal Engineering College. She's an avid traveler, loves telling her travel stories through her photographs. Oh, that's wonderful. Uh, Thank you, Sudakshina, for coming here today. Where we have Bala, as we call him, Bala Subramaniam Kritivasan. He has experience of 21 plus years in the IT industry in web development, analytics, and ERP utilities. He has coached, mentored many teams and managers to bring the best out from them. He has been associated with a couple of NGOs and has been a guest lecturer for topics in maths, interview preparation, Scrum, Agile, coding, and other soft skills training. Focus would be what he is going to deal today is a general introduction. He's going to be talking about after college, and he'll also be giving you very interesting tips and tricks on resumes, and he has had very interesting sessions in Ananya on hacker rank, and it's a very valued session, and especially the nerdy types, the developer types, I mean, look forward for his sessions. I mean, we cannot deny that. Thank you for that, and over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. I think I'll be going first. I don't know. Am I the only one, or you hear echo?
Sorry,
yes,
I don't.
we hear a bit of an echo.
Yeah, I think somebody is.
Others can mute, and I think, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now I think it looks good.
It's fine.
No, that's
Alright.
probably me. I had not muted.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your wonderful introduction. Though I know I wrote it, but yeah, thank you for the introduction. Thank you for reading it out for us. So good morning, everyone. First of all, I hope you and your family are staying safe. Every person I have spoken to is being impacted in some or the other way, and let's say strong in that. It's always a pleasure collaborating with Ananya to and talk to people from BNMIT College. So we have been collaborating with BNMIT from a very long time, 2 years now, I guess. And I have personally visited BNMIT. I have done, like what ma'am said, I have done design thinking section there, and it was wonderful session. The energy we feel it from this college, from the students, is incredible. I hope we will meet soon after all these pass away, in next few months or years, whatever it takes. I hope we meet soon in the college where we'll interact more. But now let's do it virtually. So as a part of career guidance, I want to share my story. I am, like I said, like my ma'am said, I'm Nadeem. So I was born and brought up in a place called Kudremukh, which is a hill station in Western Ghats. It's in Chikmagalur district. Very emotionally connected to the place. If you know the place, if you're connected to it, please ping me. I'll be glad to talk to you. So I did my schooling there from Kendriya Vidyalaya. I was always a average student, far from top of the class, but progress. Uh, so I did it. So I was there from first to 12th standards, and after that I wrote my CET, and I got into the mechanical branch of BMS College of Engineering. That's famous college, you must be knowing that. So again, I was not a bright student, but I progressed. So end of third year, the placements came in. The first company which came in was TCS, and it was a horrible interview, I must say. I had bluffed a lot. I didn't know what I was speaking, and many of my friends got selected. I remember there were 351 students who got selected in TCS, and I was not. I was rejected there. So I prepared a bit. A couple of days later, Wipro came in, and I cracked the interview, and I was selected there. So this was in 2008. In 2008, I completed my engineering in mechanical. And if you remember, if you are aware, those were the recession time. So it was recession time. There were a lot of companies who were not calling their recruits, but fortunately, Wipro called maybe after 9 months. But meanwhile, I got an opportunity to work in my own school in Kendriya Vidyalaya. Since it's a remote place, we didn't have a lot of teachers there. But so I got an invite from the principal. I had gone and spoken to him. My maths teacher was not there. She had to go away to her native. So I got an opportunity to teach mathematics in my own school to my own brother. And that was my first salary there. So it was a very fortunate thing. I got some 1,200 rupees for 10 days. which was my first salary, and it is a treasure for me always. So in 2009, I joined Wipro as a project engineer. Since I was not a computer science student, I was a mechanical engineer. I was put into mainframes technology. So all the bright students were put in the cool technologies, then the Java database and all that. But we were put into mainframes technology. I completed my training, got into a project called LIC. So if you ever go to LIC offices, you see a yellow screen on this on the laptops or computers there. That was built by us. It was a 3-layer architecture software. So the front end was Java, the middle layer was COBOL, and COBOL is a part of mainframe, so it's a similar technology. And the database was MySQL. So I worked in COBOL for 2 years, and I was about to get released from the project. The database manager came and asked me to join his team. I was not aware of what database is. I was since I learned whatever I learned in Wipro itself. I didn't know anything much outside from the college. So I worked there. I so Since I was not very knowledgeable about it, I was not sure if it was good for me. So I asked my friends around, my colleagues, and they were like, "Don't go. Just get out of this project. Just go and take a better project, which is global, not just Indian, and so on." But I spoke to my manager, and he suggested that database is a better technology than mainframes, and you should be moving it. I took it and I moved into database technology, and I worked there for 1 year, learned few new technologies there, and got released. Then I moved into a L1 support project, which was like a call center where you keep monitoring jobs and you see if something is working or not working. If it does not work, you pick up your phone and you call people up to fix that. Right. So that was we had weird timings also. I used to work sometimes from night 2 o'clock to afternoon 12 o'clock or so. But after that, I got into there. I worked for a couple of months. Then I moved into another project, which was L2 L3 support. So I was the one who was picking the call to fix things then, right? But meanwhile, I was also in pursuit of a new job role. I was looking for jobs there, and I gave about 50 interviews before I could get a new offer, which I got in 2013. I was in Ariba, which was acquired by SAP then. And I had got this job because I was a database developer then and not mainframe. So I had moved out of mainframes. Only because of that I could get this job. Uh, and I was taken as a technical consultant in the team where I was to do automation of the manual process which was happening there. So, but when I joined Ariba, so most of my teammates then were MBA graduates, and they had done MBA from New York, Australia, UK, IIM. There was an IIM pass out also. There were people from few great colleges within Karnataka, like KJ Sumaya Management College and so on. So looking at all that, I figured that they were the business consultants. I was the technical consultant, and I found that the consultant had a cooler look to it, right? I found business consultant way cooler. That was inspiring me. I remember in 2016 or so, I was cutting onions in my kitchen to make my favorite omelette, and I suddenly got a revelation that I should be doing my MBA, and without leaving my job. So immediately I researched colleges, and I researched colleges who didn't ask for CAT score. I was in no mood to take up any exams, study for it, and do MBA and all that. So I researched for colleges which could give me seats, could give me a place to do MBA without leaving my job and without taking exams. So I gave a couple of interviews, and I got into Amrita School of Management, which was offering a dual degree. It was an executive MBA, which was weekend classes in general management and MS in business analysis. So I got in there. We had weekend classes, lots of assignments. We had a lot of presentation, which I loved attending and doing, and I managed to complete it. So meanwhile, at work, I drifted myself from technical work to business work, more functional work. So I made sure that I kept moving there. And today I'm a program lead, like what Mahamam told. I'm a program lead for one of the flagship programs called Benchmarking Program and Senior Value Advisor in Ariba Analytics team, where I guide few business analysts and developers, help customers improve their procurement performance and a lot more. So this is my story. Not very unique, not very thrilling, doesn't look very interesting or inspiring either. But there are few key things which I would like to highlight from this mundane story, which I feel is important. So first of all, I consider myself successful because I have a decent job. I work in a great company. I get decent salary, which to feed my family. I love to work. I love what I do. I love the work what I do, and to reach here, I think I did few important things, and I have done few things which is very important for me, and there were few principles which I followed. Right. So uh, the first learning or first observation what I have is your next step depends mostly on your present, right? Just a second. So your next step depends mostly on your present. So based on your 10th marks or 10th standard results, you would have got your PU college seat or 11th or 12th standard seat. Based on your 12th standard results, you would have got your engineering college seats, right? So here I'm talking about the merit seats and not the management seats. So and now you are in BNMIT. That is great. So whatever you have done till now has been working. Right? It's a wonderful college. You are in a wonderful place. So whatever you have done till now is wonderful. But if you look at the future, based on your performance in your current college, based on your performance in the college, you will get your first job, right? How you perform or what you do in the college will take you to the next job, the first job. Or if you're planning to do your higher studies, it will be based on your preparation for the entrance exams, again related to your college. Based on what and how you learn in your first job or how you learn in your on your higher studies, you will get your next job or the first job then, and so on, right? So to move ahead, so I call it the hall ticket to the next step. So to move ahead, you have to have that strong present. You need to make sure that you are doing the right thing today so that the future is good. Whatever has happened in the past is fine, but whatever you do in the future, whatever you want in the future depends completely based on today, right? Uh, so having a decent score when you take up when you so in engineering college, so whenever so if you want to work on the present, so there are few things which I think is important. One is you need to have decent score. You need to learn whatever you can. You need to prepare based on the requirements of every exam, test, interview, etc. Whatever comes up, you need to prepare yourself. It is very crucial. And I always say communication is important thing to get jobs, but knowledge is more important. If you don't know what to speak, it doesn't matter how you speak, right? So it's very important you have a good knowledge about it. And remember, getting a job is not never easy. Yeah. And when you look at the opportunities, what you would have after engineering, I must say engineering is one of the most flexible uh, degree we ever had, right? So just to tell you a few examples, one of my classmates, so from my engineering college, one of my classmates, he was uh, he was my classmate, a good friend of mine, is now an entrepreneur who is building electric super bikes called F77. He's a CEO of a company called Ultraviolet, and his office is in Jayanagar. So if you just Google Ultraviolet F77, you will find him. His name is Narayan Subramanian. So he's an entrepreneur. So he just finished his engineering. He had a passion towards building things, designing and innovating. So he started his company, and he's a millionaire, if I'm not wrong, right? One of my batchmates was the head writer for AIB. If you know AIB, the YouTube channel, who recently wrote the cred ads, the one with Rahul Dravid, Indranagar Ka Gunda, Kumar Sanu, Madhuri Dixit, Jawgal Srinath, Venkatesh Prasad, and all those. So he wrote that along with Tanmay, the EIB guy, that fat fellow. So he was one of the head writers. He also got into this soon after engineering. One of my hostel seniors was passionate about acting. He went to Mumbai, acted in a couple of movies and serials, very small roles, and now he didn't click. So he has started his own acting teaching studio. A few of my friends tried UPSC exams and are in government jobs now. A couple could crack UPSC, but many couldn't. So they are in good government jobs. Like one of them is in RBI and few other institutes, organizations. One of my friends has done his master's degree in design. So if, all the mechanical engineers out there, one of this may be useful for you. So he has done a master's degree in design from National Institute of Design and is an industrial designer now, and which looks pretty good. It's very creative job that he has. So many of my friends went to abroad for higher studies and are doing good there. Few did MBA and are in good position in various companies in India and abroad. Uh, Many are in software companies and many in mechanical based companies also. Most of them have gone through placements there. So these are a lot of these are just few of the examples which I noted down to mention that what you can do in the future. So there are multiple options out there. It's not just one or two. It's not like MBBS. So after MBBS you have to be a doctor, right? So it's not like that. After doing engineering there are a lot of options, but to reach there, the road which you will have to take is completely different. It's not the same. So if you want to do MBA, you have to write a CAT exam. If you want to be good at technical things or do your masters in technical things, you need to take up GATE. If you want to study abroad, you will have to take GRE. If you want to be an actor, first have good bank balance and give it a shot. If you want to be an entrepreneur, strong support from family with no major responsibility is very important. And appetite to take risk and slog is also very important. So it's a very risky job. And like me, if you want to flow with the flow, which is low risk, just score decent marks. Make sure that you don't get a lot of backs. Your score is good enough so that uh, so again, the scores are hall ticket for you to get into a company. So uh, to the companies will invite you only if you have a certain uh, marks, right? So for example, SAP invites only those students who have scored at least 80% aggregate, if I'm not wrong, if I remember the number right. So marks is very important if you want to get a job. And please gain knowledge, whatever you can. Prepare well, keep your eyes and ears open. This is very important for me, keeping your eyes and ears open. Uh, I have done that. I have always had my eyes and ears open. I would like, I would, I would suggest you to grab the opportunities in the current scenario. So at present, whatever best opportunities you have, just grab that. The best opportunities. Just keep your eyes and ears open and uh, grab the best opportunity. For example, in my first, like I said, I had an opportunity to switch technology. I grabbed it. I had an opportunity to get into a good company. I grabbed it. I had an opportunity to speak to people, do an MBA, move to be a business consultant, which I liked, which so I grabbed that as well. So currently I'm exploring the future. So the options and possibility of where I can be in my career, and I'm doing my research there. I'm figuring out what can be the best opportunities, and I want to grab the best opportunities there. I'm not doing anything extra. I'm just keeping things I'm just keeping I'm doing things, I'm observing things so that I know this is the place I want to be in. And I will, once I figure out where I want to be, I'll work towards that. Right. So keep grabbing good opportunities. And if you have capacity to take high risk, my recommendation is to take risk only if your family is not dependent on you and you have decent backup and support. You can follow your passion and pick your career accordingly. So few of my friends have one of my friends has taken up music as his career. He has decent backup from his family, so he is a music director for short films in Andhra. So even that is possible, but please make sure that you assess assess your current scenario, your family backup, your responsibilities before taking anything like anything up, any such things up. Yeah, and most importantly, be cautious, seek help and guidance from those who are experts in the area. You will get uh, you will get suggestions from everyone, right? Everyone. Uh, uh, my mom can give me suggestions on what I should be doing in my work also, right? So everybody has suggestions, but you should be taking only experts' opinions. If you really want to get opinions, you can look at LinkedIn. You can search for people, and you can just drop a message with your question. I'm sure many people will be able to help you there. Excuse me. Uh, it's important, like I said, it's important to get the right suggestion from the right people. Don't mess your future up with wrong decisions. Yeah. With that, I would like to wish you all a very good luck, very best, and very best for your future. Mask up, follow guidance, and please stay safe. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Nadeem. That was very, very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next one, can we finish this and then probably leave some 10 minutes for the discussion, I think. Who's the next one to go?
I was supposed to go next.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Now,
Yeah.
please. Yeah.
So, yeah, we were debating whether, slides would be required or not. And then, in the last evening, Bala, Nadeem and I caught up, and then I thought, why not? Let me put some pictures together. So let me start by sharing what I have put together. So yeah, thank you so much. I just wanted to start by thanking you, Mahalakshmi, for giving us this opportunity to, just share our stories with the students, and for BNMIT College for giving us this platform and giving us this opportunity to, talk a little bit about a couple of things that we have learned through our journeys with students who are pretty much early on in starting out on their career paths. So it is indeed a very difficult time that each one of us are going through, as individuals, as families, as communities, as a nation. And, as individuals, we are trying to do pretty much whatever we can to just, stay positive, to help out in whichever way we can, to be there for our colleagues, our families, and the extended families. So, I can only, take a guess in terms of how each of you would be feeling as you sit here, in the second semester of your engineering courses and wondering what lies ahead. And so, yeah, I mean, Nadeem really set the pace with with his very humble story, but which is also full of such excellent insights into what really sees one through. And I also wanted to share a couple of my insights as well, and then probably towards the end, I'll also tie in with some of the things that Nadeem shared. So my name is Sudakshana Ghosh. I have been with SAP for 15 years now. And I've really enjoyed my journey at SAP. And I'll talk a little bit about the kind of work that I do, because it does keep me motivated every day. And I still enjoy, waking up each morning and having the opportunity to work with, some of India's biggest, smallest companies, but who are always, trying to really redefine how they can leverage technology to drive better business practices, right? So that is the work that I do, and I really enjoy that work. So even before going there, I was born in a small little town, like so many of us and of our generation. The town that I was born in, it's called Kharagpur, and it has its only claim to fame is, other than IIT Kharagpur, is having the third largest platform in the world, right? So, imagine walking all across with your bag and baggage trying to catch a train when you know you're already very late. So that is the early memory of childhood that I have. My father is a first generation entrepreneur, and like every little thing in terms of bringing your best self to whatever you are doing, that I think was something that I picked up looking at him trying to set something, to create something of value, and more importantly, an enterprise that offers jobs to so many, right? So that is probably the work ethic that got so ingrained into me that later, at a very young age, about when I was 10.5 years old, I went to a big city, which was Calcutta, and I went to a boarding school because my parents were still there in Kharagpur. And and I was just I was a student in class 5, and boarding school was this long dormitory where our only possessions were a trunk which had a few items of clothing, two sets of school uniforms, two sets of shoes, and a lot of books. But so those were my growing up years. It was a school that I'm glad I had the opportunity to go to. That my parents, I'm sure it was not easy for them, but it did give me a lot of exposure, coming from a to a lot of my classmates and peers who came from very different backgrounds. There was just so much to learn, in those growing up years. And then, after completing class 12, I joined. I did, I took joint entrance examination, and I went to do my engineering at a college which was called Bengal Engineering College at that time, one of India's oldest engineering colleges. It was set up in 1857, the year when India's freedom struggle started. Today, it is called Indian Institute of Science and Technology. And the things that I remember from my days days there are, of course, the sheer struggle with the amount of maths and mechanics and applied mechanics that one had to do. But also in terms of, again, being with a set of, batchmates and friends who came from many different backgrounds. And, you pick up these friendships that stay with you all throughout your life, right? And so the picture that you see here is of this clock tower, and it was a very green campus set on the banks of the Ganga. And I mean, excellent 4 years. Sometimes I remember where they, what exactly was I doing during those 4 years, because, other than studies, I think a lot of time was just spent in enjoying the nature and the openness that the campus actually provided. From then on, Nadeem's story, my story is a little different. So TCS at that time, so I'm talking about the year 2001. At that time, we were just coming out of Y2K. That was another massive disruption. It was, again, one of those cycles where it was a down economic cycle. I was in my third year. TCS was one of the first companies that came on campus. And a little moving away from Nadeem's story, I did indeed get a job right at the beginning, and then once I graduated, completed my engineering, within a week, I was off to Kerala for Trivandrum, where TCS had their, the readiness program, so to speak, because most of us coming right out of college needed to be taught how to, how to do basically software application development, etc. So that is what I first learned in the induction program. But otherwise, it was a great experience because TCS had this wonderful, trainings, corporate training center, and they actually had a lot of their leaders, come and speak with us. And even we were taught things like how to dress properly, how to, because, it was large during those times, TCS was servicing so many clients. Abroad, that there was a certain way of speaking with them, etc. And coming from, our colleges, sometimes we need to be trained on how to do that, right? But it was really interesting, going from I had never lived anywhere outside of West Bengal. So going to Kerala and living there for 3 months during the induction program was a pretty unique experience. And then, once the induction program was over, I got my placement in Bombay in the GE Global Development Center. The picture that you see here, I used to sit somewhere on the second floor here, and yeah, I mean, from there to the shores of India's maximum city, I still remember I had this, feeling of being completely overwhelmed when I landed with my one suitcase in the Kurla station in Bombay. And I wondered, how on earth am I going to survive in this city that doesn't stop for anything or anyone? And then, of course, I mean, I don't know, somehow life takes you along and you get carried on. And why the picture I put of the sea, because because I still remember the day I landed in Bombay in the evening. I went with my friends to Marine Drive. And I remember, shedding tears, sitting there wondering how exactly am I going to survive, in this city, because just the experience of being in the Bombay local train was completely, overwhelming for me. I spent 2 years there. I always wanted to do, do an MBA. So while I was learning how to write code on .NET, develop applications for GE's commercial equipment business that was spread across US and Europe, I was also preparing for CAT and ZAT. And I managed to crack it to XLRI, and those have been two of the best years of my life. Not because of what I learned, because what I realized is I really did enjoy, contrary to popular belief that what you learn in class is not really, it's not that interesting. However, at XLRI, the case study driven approach to marketing, which continues to be my favorite subject even today, and also the way the professors evaluated our understanding of the subject matter, which was around, how well did we understand the problem statement that was given to us, and were we able to come up with creative solutions to business problems. I think if I look back, that is the aspect that I most remember, from my days there. And more importantly, I made the four of us were a group. I made three of the bestest friends in my life from college. And I mean, every hour outside of class was spent either studying or hanging out with friends. And that is what I remember most when I look back to college. It was indeed, and Jamshedpur that way is a small little town which offers, very lovely settings, and we used to take these long walks all around campus. It was XLRI situated in this part of town which is called Circuit House area, and in summers, all the houses would have beautiful gardens that would have blooming flowers everywhere. So yeah, while coursework was grueling, but all of this also are even fonder memories from there. And that's the picture of me. That's the only picture I have. I just remember when I was actually trying to find out pictures from those days, because we never had mobile phones. We hardly took pictures, So I just only have the graduation picture from college. So yeah, so after from there, let us, I just wanted to shift and look at where I am today. So for me, I do believe that we are always work in progress, WIP, right? And life is around a circle of meaning, a meaning that you define for yourself. Right. So today, if I were to look at my circle of meaning, the work that I do forms a large chunk of it, but that is not the only thing, right? I do travel quite a lot, and that gives me a lot of meaning. That gives a lot of meaning to my life. I dabble quite a lot in photography, music, blogging, etc., and that also again gives a lot of meaning to my life. And something which is probably not 10%, but it is growing larger, is in terms of giving back. So I want to give back in as many ways as I can, right? And that part of my circle is now, as I look forward to how I want things to be for me going forward, the back part is becoming more and more important. So why I'm talking about this is, maybe you guys are very young, right? Maybe this is just a thought that I wanted to leave you with, that this circle of meaning will continue to keep changing and evolving as you go through different phases in life. But it is important for you to also keep that in mind, that what gives you meaning, what gives you an abiding sense of joy, is something that you can always start thinking about, even when you're taking a class. Is coding that is giving you joy, or is solving complex structural mechanics problems giving you more happiness, or is it just understanding about artificial intelligence and machine learning, or is it some other subject? Like, for example, do you enjoy writing scripts, for example, for shows and movies, or do you just love music, right? So depending on what your circle of meaning is, you can actually take steps to lay out or chart out your path for the future. So a little bit about work. I have had the opportunity to work with some of India's largest customers, and I'll just tell you a few stories from there. So one of the first earliest customers that I had the opportunity to work with was Vedanta. Vedanta is one of India's largest metals and mining company, and as part of that, as part of engaging with customers, we get this opportunity to actually go and see how the mining operations are happening, right? So going to their copper mine in Zambia, for example, or going to their zinc mines in the remotest part of Rajasthan. I will always have these are not just work. These have opened my eyes to how some of India's leading companies run their businesses. Very recently, I also did a lot of work with Jaguar Land Rover, right? So and when I used to, go to their vehicle development, so they make these beautifully engineered cars. The pride that each and every engineer took in creating every small little component of the car is something that I took away. Like, that pride in your work, the pride in creating something beautiful, marvelously and beautifully engineered, is something that I took away from there. Similarly, I have lots of stories from other customers as well. But what I like about the work that I do is that we are using technology to solve real world business problems, and that is what keeps me motivated and challenged every morning when I wake up. So it is also important, as you think about work. Of course, you have families that depend on you, and and it is important to earn a living. But do you find a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning, and taking it to the next level? Do you also find a sense of joy in the work that you're doing? Right? I think that is a very important element to look at, because work is going to be, today now it is studies, right? and then in future is going to be work. So it is very important to also find that meaning and joy in something that you are going to do for the large part of your day, because what you would do every day is going to be what your life is all about. So it's important to actually find meaning there. And for me also to have been part of SAP India's growth story, I joined SAP India right from XLRI campus. It was my campus job placement, and it's been an amazing journey. I have seen SAP India grow from when I joined SAP India in 2006 to where we are today, and work with this stellar set of companies and customers and built my own relationship with them. So being part of this SAP India's growth story and really doing work that gives me meaning does give me a lot of joy, and also makes me feel proud of the work. But more importantly, every day I feel that I shouldn't stop learning. There has to be a component where at the end of today I should feel that there is one little, even doesn't matter how big or small, but there is one small thing that I learned. There was one way in which I challenged myself, and I should never stop trying to do even better in the next piece of work that I pick up. Right. So I think those have always stood me in the toughest. Every day is not great. Sometimes, there are lots of challenges at work, and it's a very demanding sort of work that we do. Customers are always asking us, and they're always pushing us, for one thing or the other. Unless I find that center of meaning within myself, it would be difficult for me to, also continue to do even better in the work that I do. And more importantly, as I see myself going forward, the component of giving back, whether it is to SAP or it is to society in general, is something that is becoming more and more important to me. So I work with a lot of startups. I actually lead the startup segment for SAP India in terms of helping them adopt technology and drive the next level of growth. I have tried to be mentors to students for this organization, for example, called Head Held High, who used to offer a lot of work-related training to kids who did not have a proper formal schooling, but right now they are not able to come to the Head Held High centers to take these trainings because of COVID. And these kids are, they live in very, very remote parts of India, belong to families, who just have one phone. So just having a conversation with them under these circumstances, I'm not sure how much value I've added to their lives, but it has definitely made me a much more grounded individual, right? And I'm also doing a lot of work with this organization called Beautiful Bangalore, where we're looking at how we can promote sustainable living in our cities, right? A work that I did recently, which gave me a lot of joy personally, was to record a children's book for for blind students, and that actually gave me a lot of different way of looking at things. So there are people with disabilities, yet there are so many different ways to engage with them. So again, these are also things that give me meaning, and giving back is something I realize that it need not come when you have had X number of years of career behind you. Always, whatever little bit I have, if I can give back even a little bit of that, I at least have found a lot of joy in that process. Here are some of pictures of my, my travel pictures. This is what work has enabled me to do. It has given me the opportunity to travel and have very interesting experiences from the remotest parts of the world, like Burma or Norway, to going to India's border in the northeast, or to even a remote island in the Indian Ocean. Or even Ladakh. So yeah, so that is something that gives me a lot of joy, because it always enables me to see how people live their lives in very different environments. And the more I see this, the more I feel that if there are two ways in which we can look at, think about, or if I can think about, leaving the world a little better place, it is in the area of education, and especially focused on education for the girl child, and looking at sustainable living. So yeah, a little bit of that. And of course, art gives me a lot of joy. So the more I travel, the more I'm able to experience some of these things. Some of the pictures here are very interesting. I don't know, Mahalakshmi, many of them are from Berlin, actually, because I love the graffiti scene in Berlin. Also, some of the pictures are from the concentration camps that I had the opportunity to visit, how prisoners left artwork on the walls when they were going through very tough times in their lives, etc. So yeah, so that is the other thing. But I finally wanted to leave you with a few of these thoughts. When we look at the future, we do see that our planet is becoming more fragile. There are more people on it, and events such as the pandemic or forest fires. Right now, Uttarakhand, for example, is seeing the worst bout of forest fires that are happening. Summer has set in early, whereas there are incidents of, completely unforeseen snow. Our oceans are, getting more polluted with plastics. Fishes are dying. So a lot of these things. So the fragile ecosystem that the world is today is becoming more and more pressured. In addition, there are a lot of changes that are happening. Overall, for example, technology is leading to something which we call the fourth industrial revolution. That is because it is driven by automation everywhere. Right now, we cannot imagine our daily lives without technology. Many businesses today are just being born digital, right? They do not, they do not have any physical presence. They are only present in the internet, right? Given these big trends that are really driving, how we look at the future, how we look at a sustainable future for ourselves and for the children who are the children of the future, so to speak, is absolutely essential for young people like you to think about as you are embarking on your engineering journey, because there's a lot of different ways in which you can innovate, you can create, and every little bit counts, right? So I just wanted to leave you with my 3 C's that have these are my 3 mantras, so to speak, that have stood by me, and I wanted to share it with you today. I mean, staying curious is something which will always help you explore areas that you never thought you could venture into, but you would find the most wonderful experiences there, joy and beauty there, right? So staying curious and being a lifelong student, whether it is what you're learning in college today, or it is an online course that you're taking, or simply taking up a creative pursuit like painting, or learning how to play the guitar, or learning how to speak Mandarin. It's curiosity that is always going to help you seek out new experiences, and maybe challenge yourself in the small and big ways. Connections is very important. Sometimes today, especially we are seeing how the human factor is coming to is helping each other out, in these tough times, right? So being more human, putting the most important, considering our families, our friendships, and our communities to be the most important aspects of our lives that we need to invest in, and just being empathetic, knowing, trying to understand what that other person is going through, walking a mile in their shoes before we form an opinion about them. So again, those are actually very essential skills, I would say, because with more automation, some of the mundane routine tasks are going to be taken care of by technology. So what differentiates us as human beings? I think these things differentiate us as human beings, which a machine would never be able to replace. So whether it is creative thinking, caring for larger causes, really finding out creative solutions to problems such as climate change, or how to make education more accessible to everyone who wants it, right? That every little bit of creativity that you can bring in matters. So with that, I wanted to stop here and hand the stage to Bala.
Okay. Thank you, Nadeem. Thank you, Sudakshana. Mahalakshmi madam, how many more minutes do I have? Do I have 13 more minutes? Is that how it is? Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Just alert me 1 minute before the actual time. Otherwise, you know me, I can talk. So thank you very much. So, okay, guys. I am Bala. So I will keep my stories and things like that maybe for a later point in time. But we will quickly jump into what I have for you. What I thought we should speak to you with respect to, since you're now entering into the second year or the second semester in the engineering. So we will go through it. Some of it may be like a slightly, it may touch your heart. Some of that you may get bored, but it's okay. But these are all important ones is what I thought. And so I thought I wanted to speak to you in this one. So when I'm assuming you're able to see my screen. Is that right? Can somebody confirm?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Good. Thank you very much. Okay. So the life cycle. So you are in the college, first year, second year, third year, it's going to go. Then outside college, either you're going to look for a job or you're going to go for higher studies, get a job, start a company, buying power. You'll get money, and your buying power will increase. You'll get married, retire. This is the overall broader picture of your life cycle. So we'll keep this just for aside. It is just wanted to give you that this is what all of us go through in general as an abstract. Now you're in the second year, second semester. So what all you could do? It's a request when you are going to be there in the college, what you would like to do, what you have to do. So maybe take it in the right sense. College, it's going to be probably the most enjoyable part, and it's going to be the best part in the life. Everybody will enjoy it, so please enjoy that best part. It's every moment, every inch you have to enjoy in life, and this college will add more value to it. Okay. What I sometimes see is people, though they are very good in some of these subjects and things like that, due to for whatever reasons, English they don't pick it up as a communication language. Sometimes you have to have that English language, not a very commanding language as such, but at least what you are able to convey, you should be able to convey it in the right sense. That is very, very important. We do see this particular thing very important. A lot of people who have been successful, they do have this as a very important thing, that English, they would be able to use this as a very good communication language. Should we know only English is always a question which can be debated and things like that. But currently we are in the world where we also need to know English. So never leave your mother tongue. That is not what I'm saying. I'm not a native Kannada speaker, native of Karnataka, but being associated, being here for about 21 years, I can speak reasonably well Kannada also. So sometimes people think I am a native Kannada speaker, but that doesn't matter. So with whatever is your language, please pick up those languages. Then English is also a must from a communication perspective. I'm not saying a person who speaks English is more intelligent than a person who doesn't speak English. No, that's not true at all. Definitely, I've seen it a lot of the things in my life. So it's just a communication, the way you can communicate. Professors, I see a lot of doctors, doctorates in this particular meeting. My special mentions and thanks to many doctors who are there in this particular sessions. From all the professors, however they are called as assistant professor, professors, HOD, I've just put it as a teaching community. So let's give them a lot of respect to the teaching community. Learn from each one of them. It is okay. It's always an usual tendency as students, we term that this is not a great professor, this is a good professor. That doesn't matter. He or she has come into that role as a teacher, to us. We have to respect them, learn from each one of them. There is definitely a lot of things to learn from each one of them. So it is very easy to say, no, I will not listen to her, or I will not listen to him as a professor. No, please avoid that. That's a very, very important thing. So learn from each and every person, for that matter, each and every person, but from the professors, take the best use of whatever is possible. The next tendency is when somebody says, I'm doing some studies and things like that. A lot of people I've seen that writing pages and pages and pages of notes and claiming that I studied for 3 hours or 4 hours. And this is from the engineering. Am I qualified to speak about any of these things? Reasonably qualified, and with a humble thing. Because I finished my engineering, B computer science, and also MS Bits Pilani software systems, and also finished my Indian Institute of Management MBA, both in marketing and finance. So I've studied reasonably a lot of subjects. So that is the reason why I also qualify and then say it. So it's just an humble thing. So don't just keep writing only notes. Read a lot of books. Reference some things, reference books, we will not be able to hold it with us for many years or many months. So those are the places where we need to have notes. Okay, this I'm not speaking about what your professors ask you to write notes in the class. So that's not what I'm speaking. I'm speaking about rest of the things when we study and things like that. So it is not just studying, is not just about writing notes. Yes, writing is important, but also learning and studying it from the book is also very, very important. So that's one thing. So have a lot of practical exposure. If you're, I think the students are all from computer science and also from mechanical and maybe from other branches. So I just put it simple ones. Have practical exposure in your subjects. Only theoretical rote learning is not going to be sufficient. It is important. I'll come why it is important. That also I'll come in, but also have a lot of practical exposures and experience. Experience is going to teach us a lot. It will continue to teach us a lot. A lot of things we can learn by experience. Some things will go wrong, some things will go right. That doesn't matter. Okay. Just think how many of us can know how to change a tube light or a bulb or also a fuse. Sometimes electrical engineers forget about the electrician who comes to our house. Electrical engineers also may not know how to change a fuse. I am not disrespecting them, but there are cases which we have seen. But that is very important, a practical expression. Attend all these sessions, your classes and things like that. What are we going to do just by stepping out of it, going to a movie or going to a canteen? I mean, of course, I'm speaking some of these things from my years, 25 years ago. I don't know what is the current trend which happens. So please pardon me, but there is no use of bunking any of your classes. It doesn't make any sense to bunk. Attend, sit there. Sometimes it will be interesting. Sometimes we will feel sleepy. That's all fine. It's all part and parcel. Everybody would have gone through this. The professors also would have gone through all of this, but that doesn't mean that we should not sit. Make it a practice. See how you can do it. Do well in all your exams. You cannot achieve everything in the last moment. Okay, one day before I will read it. Yes, you will read it, you will get good marks, but it is just in the piece of paper. You will not understand the subject at all. It is very, very, okay, that it's like it will disappear the moment you write your exams. You're not reading it just for grading the marks. You're reading it for understanding about the subjects. So the reason why you have to get, the usual question generally asked is, only if I get marks am I considered to be good? No, definitely no. I've seen people who are very, very intelligent have not scored 80s or 90s. Okay, I will definitely give it to you for that. But unfortunately, when we are looking for a job, if you are starting a company of our own self and entrepreneur, then these are all just a piece of paper or a degree. But if you are looking for a job for a particular position, all of us, sometimes we get about 1,000 resumes. We have to find out a way to only pick the first 10 or the best 10 and then go, ask them to come for the interview. So as I think Nadeem rightly said, it's an hall ticket for you to be getting called. You may be very, very intelligent, but only after somebody calls you, you can prove your intelligence. So that is the only reason, that is one of the reasons why you need to have the marks. If you study well, automatically the marks will come, automatically it will come. Okay, some people may be capable of getting 85, some people may be capable of getting 80, 70, 75. That's okay. That's how it is. Human beings, we are all different. But do your studies thinking that okay, let me do it correctly. So that's very, very important, and that is that's how the resumes are selected. Right and wrong, we will debate about it. We'll have it in a separate session, but that's the current way we have to do it. We have this much amount of population, only limited amount of jobs are available. I'm not scaring you, but that's how it is. So you have to have your resume should look like, oh, okay, this guy can be called. You enter into there, you say whatever you would like to say in the interviews and the discussions, and then you will get selected, and then you can improve your knowledge. So please have it. There is a lot of things which people say, no, I don't want marks. Yes, I agree, but please also have it as a practice to have a reasonably good marks. I'm not speaking about here 90s and things like that. A reasonable, decent, good score. Try to avoid, I think that's what he said, Nadeem said, try to avoid passing it at the first instant throughout. Backlogs, it will add more pressure to you. So the concepts which are generally missed out in the computer sciences, data structures and databases, but these are all important. If you are continuing to be in the development job or a product development and things like that, these will continue. You need these informations forever. So please do that. Have a decent resume preparations, a page, one pager or 1.5 pages. Maybe we will get opportunity to speak about individual resume preparations and things like that. Maybe when you are doing the second year, the second semester, and your third year and the fourth year, maybe if Ananya, Mahalakshmi ma'am invites us, we will speak about it separately on that. Coding, if you are doing in the computer science background, understand what the logic is. One particular problem can be resolved in multiple ways. You need to know different ways of solving it. We are not speaking about a syntax for coding and things like that, but you have to understand about the logic. So that is very, very one of the important things. Hard work, definitely you have to do hard work. There is no other thing other than hard work. Success and failure will be part and parcel. All the people now, two people have given their explanation. They've gone the success, they've got the failures, they have learned from it. You learn from it. Okay, so definitely everybody, that there are teachers, there are professors, there are doctorates there. Imagine how much they would have struggled to get a PhD degree. It is not easy. They would have done lots of studies, success and failures. They would have heard a lot of things from their coach also. So these are all my initial request.
Bala, you can take 5 more minutes or a little
Sure.
more time.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am. So since I get 5 more minutes, let me run through this. I was debating whether I should have this slide, but anyway, we'll speak about it. You can hate me at the end of the thing. That's okay. It's okay. It's for your own good. All days, please start really well. Don't have any enmity towards other people and things like that. Because it's a beautiful day. Every day is a beautiful day. Please start it well. What has gone is gone. You don't have. Sorry. You don't have control on what has already gone. On the future also, you don't have control. Nobody expected that people will work from home or learn from home beginning of March 9th or March 12th. I was going to office till March 10th. March 11th, they declared saying that work from home, and we continue to work from home. And same thing for all studies and things like that. So it's not in our control at all. Respect people, very, very important. This will end up like some amount of moral science class, but it's okay. It is important. So respect people. A good amount of people don't respect our parents also. Whatever is possible, they have respected. They have done good things for us, or tried to do good things for us. Only when we are parents, we know how much is the struggle. And imagine the situations as of now is a little better with in terms of finances and things like that for a good amount of people. Without even a good finance or economic background, parents have struggled hard to bring us up. So respect them. I was counseling. I added this point because I was counseling somebody with some probably this week, Monday or Tuesday. Bala, I did this. I took my office tension and then shouted at my father and mother. I said, for what reason? There's no reason why you should shout at your parents at all. So this is something which is important. So all of us will realize when we become also parents. Of course, I think it is an important thing to respect everybody. When somebody speaks about, says or speaks, listen to them very well. All of us have a tendency to assume what they're going to say, and then we don't listen. The same thing happens when we also listen to our class also. Okay, I know this, I know this, I know this. Maybe there are some important points which that particular professor is going to say, or for that matter, when we are discussing with our friends, or something else when we are debating with something. So have that. Listen really well. Peer pressures, don't avoid. This person is doing that, that person is doing this, so I'll also have to do it. No, all of us are different. Probably what Sudakshina is able to do, I will not be able to do. Okay, that doesn't mean that I'm bad, but I can do something better. So these are all the differences. Everybody will have their own thing. So please don't have this peer pressure, because that has caused a lot of problems, especially in the IT industries. And for that matter, okay, that guy got this, that guy got this, we have to get this. So avoid this peer pressures. Okay. Social media, my favorite topic, and your probably unfavorite topic. All this WhatsApp, LinkedIn, now the Instagram. Sorry, not about the LinkedIn. Now sometimes the LinkedIn also has become like that. Your Instagrams. Technically, these are all useless things. We used to call, when I used to be there studying, we used to call the TV as the idiot box. So now all of these tools and apps have become idiots. I'm using a strong word, but that's what it is. We don't even know whether what they are saying, what message you are getting is true or not. Today we think it is true. Tomorrow we think, then somebody comes back and say it is a fake information. Okay, it doesn't matter. You have to put it in a Facebook that I have gone here, I've gone there, and things like that. You will still will do it, but these are all things which we have to do it as an entertainment for a limited thing. As of now, it's important for you folks to do a lot of studies, understand, or do something else. If you wanted to do social activities, please do that. If you wanted to play some games, please do that. Spend a lot of time on that. Of course, now we are not able to step out for any of these extracurricular activities, but let's do that whenever it is possible. Okay, I'll skip the other one, advertisements thing, in the interest of time. The ethics in general is slowly going down. That's why I said it's a moral science class. We saw recently, at least on Tuesday or Wednesday, we saw about how it was happening in the beds. For beds, booking the beds, there were scams happening. Let's assume 50% of that news is true. Even then, it is not right. Somebody is suffering, and they don't get the right beds because somebody wants more money. And these are all guys who are also actually paid. They're not paid a lot, but they're getting paid. And so please avoid in your work or in your in your studies. What is that we are going to get by copying the other person and then scoring marks? Nothing. Technically nothing. This is a piece of paper. Beyond a particular point, it's a piece of paper. But one more minute. Okay. Sure. Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam. Okay. Quickly, I will run through it. Be honest, sincere. Since it's a college, there could be some affairs. Yes, enjoy if it is going successful. If it is not successful, there is a breakup and things like that. Don't get depressed and all. It's a passing cloud. Go to the next one. I mean, I didn't mean the next affair, but you can just go to your party for life. Eat good food. So enjoy the foods and avoid foods. And this is important. I added it considering the current situation also. So don't avoid foods which are genetically changed. Examples are the KFCs and the McDonald's. So please avoid as much as possible. This will affect later. These are all important. This is a career guidance, not from a technology perspective. This is a life career guidance. If possible, you can avoid the smokes and the cigarettes. What did I say? Okay, cigarettes and the alcohol is what I was supposed to write. You spend approximately in your lifetime 14 lakhs or about 20 lakhs and all of these things. You can as well spend it on something else. The next point is forget it about it. It was prepared for somebody else, but you know what it is. It's a fertility centers. If you are all hale, if we are all hale and healthy, I don't think this much amount of fertility centers would have come in India. You understand what it is meant for. So all of us have to be hale and healthy. So thank you very much. I will give a pause here. Thank you very much, everybody. Namaskara.
Thank you, Bala. Thank you all, Nadeem, Sudakshana. We have come to an end, and I know there's another speaker that's waiting. But students, I know you have received a lot of gyan, and it's been very, very interesting. I hope you pick and choose what's nice and what's good and some things you might agree, some things you might not. I mean, it's your choice, and we respect that. And all the best to you all. And Dr. Deepa, Dr. Sarita, would you want to just say anything before we close?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Praveen will take over. Praveen, you can take over.
I thank all the speakers and Mahalakshmi ma'am for helping us with this. And we have more talks, especially with the relation to if we can guide the students to create their own LinkedIn profiles and these kind of aspects also, if we can address, we will take that, ma'am, with you whenever you feel you have the skill and the resources. Is it okay, ma'am? Mahalakshmi ma'am?
Sounds good, ma'am. Sounds good. I wasn't very clear on the whole thing, but definitely we'll be in touch. Yes.
Thank you. Deepa ma'am, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Bala, Sudakshana, and Nadeem. Much appreciated. Thank you.
I thank all the speakers of the session. I also take this opportunity to thank Dr. Sarita ma'am for arranging a wonderful session for us. Ma'am, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you,
my
Sarita,
dear
ma'am.
students, moving on to the second part of today's program. The second part is building your career, bachelor's and beyond. Now we have with us Ankitha Nagabhushan, who is also an alumni of BNM Institute of Technology. She has completed her BE. She did complete her BE in the year 2012 in Electronics and Communication Engineering from BNM Institute of Technology. Then she went on to complete her MS in Electrical Systems Engineering in the year 2015 from Germany. And since then, working in Germany, her work experience involves working as a hardware design engineer, a hardware requirement engineer, a prototype manager. Currently, she's working at Valeo, Schalter, and Sensoren GmbH. Ma'am, I think I have pronounced it properly. If not, you can correct me.
Okay.
She has also worked as a research assistant in Henze Nixdorf Institute and also as an electronics industrialization. Ma'am, we are honored to have you here back talking to our students. Thank you so much for accepting to talk to our students. Ma'am, it's over to you now.
Thank you very much for this intro, first of all. So first of all, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
you are.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So let me first try to share my screen. I'm not sure what. Can you see the presentation actually, at least the title?
No, ma'am, not yet.
No, it's the team calendar we are able to see.
Okay. Stop sharing. And then
maybe share your screen once again, ma'am. Yeah, we can see.
Yes, yes,
now?
it's there on screen.
If I do the full screen also, can you see it?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay, fine, perfect. Okay, first of all, thank you very much for this intro. Feels really good to hear something about myself, which doesn't happen quite often. So thank you very much. Also, I thank BNM for giving me this opportunity to address the first year students. I really take it as a privilege to be addressing them because, I consider these engineers as the future economy generators of our country. So even contributing a little bit in, shaping their career, it's a wonderful opportunity for me. So thanks BNM for giving me the opportunity and inviting me. Next, I would say that to the engineers, to the budding engineers, um, what do I say? First of all, congratulations! You have crossed several hurdles. Your 12th standard, your board exams, and then your competitive exams, and then the grueling counseling sessions. I have been through this, and it is very stressful. So congrats! Now you're in a happy place, at least for the next 3 years or 4 years. So you can relax, you can enjoy these 4 years, and I call it like, your golden period. So enjoy these 4 years and all the very best, because what you do here in these 4 years are going to shape your career, your future. So make good use of it. So this is how I would like to start the talk. So this is my topic, building your career. Let me just give you a brief intro, although it's been told. I have been introduced very well, but let me just give you a short one. So the person here in the photo, that's me, of course. I'm Ankitha. I'm basically from Bangalore. Until 2013, I was in Bangalore. I did my bachelor's in electronics and communication from BNM. I did it in electronics and communication. And after my bachelor's, I passed out in 2012, not so long ago, just 9 years back. So after my bachelor's, I basically worked for a year at Schneider Electric. During this period, I also did some volunteering at an NGO called Fame India. After this, I wanted to pursue my master's. I chose Germany. I did my master's for about, say, 2.5 years, or 2 years and 4 months to be precise. I did it in Paderborn and in electrical systems engineering. And my specialization was electronics and devices. I developed all this interest, towards electronics actually while I was working at Schneider. So during my master's, I also worked as a research assistant at Heinz Nixdorf Institute, again in circuit and system designing field. So once I was done with my master's, I needed a much needed break. So what did I do? I just got married. So the person here, that's my husband, Ashish. He was working in Stuttgart, so I moved to Stuttgart. I think all of you have heard, or that Stuttgart is what the mecca of automotive industry, automotive world. So the industry that was glaring to me was the automotive sector. So that's why I joined the French tier 1 supplier called Valeo. I was initially recruited for the role of a hardware design engineer. And eventually, I was given 2 more roles, that of a hardware requirement engineer and a prototype manager. It's been 4.5 years since I'm associated with Valeo now. The kind of work that I'm doing, I am into R&D, so I'm totally enjoying it. But that doesn't stop me from, wanting to achieve more. This is about me. And the most important achievement I've had so far is 6 months back, I delivered my first child. Sorry, that's my son here, the small little one, Rian. So this is about me, a short intro. So coming to the topic today, or my talk today, what are we going to talk about? There are 2 topics that I would like to touch upon. One is, you all are doing your bachelor's. You've started with your bachelor's. So what can you do during your bachelor's? I have called it an endless possibility, because in these 4 years, you actually can do so much. I would say engineering, these 4 years of engineering, you can do the 3 E's. You can educate, explore, and experiment. So make good use of these 4 years. Keep yourself as busy and occupied as possible. I will tell you what I mean by busy and occupied. But this is, like I said, this is a golden period, and make complete good use of this period. The second topic is what is it that you can do beyond your bachelor's, after your bachelor's. Um, you will be facing the real world, the actual world after your bachelor's. So I could just suggest you, or I could give you some options on what are the career paths, or what is it that you can do. You all may be aware of it, but I could just suggest what you can do after your bachelor's. um so am I still audible? I just want to confirm once.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay,
You are.
fine. Okay, all right. This slide, this is really interesting to me. So I just want to motivate you engineers first of all. I know that you were very young when this dot-com bubble happened. This happened 20 years ago. So, but at least you would have heard of this dot-com bubble. So when this dot-com bubble actually happened 20 years ago, the shares of these tech companies actually dropped. All that were doing really well even before the dot-com bubble, but after this happened, they just dropped. Okay. Very few companies, say like Amazon or Microsoft, they revived, but a lot of them they were ruined. But since then, since in these last 20 years, I would say there has been adoption of various kinds of technology, and a lot more people are online now. Say for example, blockchain. You all would have heard of what Bitcoin or blockchain or cryptocurrency, right? Now this blockchain was adopted actually during the 2007 financial crisis, and it has actually taken 10 years for wide scale adoption of blockchain technology. um, Next, coming to mobility sector. Again, you would have read about electric vehicles, Tesla, and how all the OEMs, want to have their own electric vehicle. Let me take Tesla for example, because that's one of the that's the most famous OEM, I can say. It has taken 7 years for Tesla to be widely accepted and adopted as an electric vehicle. I'm just giving you the timeline here. Blockchain took 10 years, while Tesla has taken 7 years. Now, what about digital payments in India? The way digital payments or digitalization has been accepted in India at such a fast rate has been commendable. It has taken just 4 years for India to go to move to digital completely. Would you have imagined 4 years back that when you get into an auto rickshaw or go buy something from a vegetable vendor, you can do all the transactions digitally? Could you have really thought about it? I didn't. Let me give you an example. I was in India in 2016, and digital payment was not all that common. Okay. Yeah, I mean, some people were using it, but it was not that widely accepted. So I was still in that mindset. In 2019, December, I came to India on a vacation. I was there for almost a month. And the very second day when I arrived, I went out. I wanted to step out, so I went out with my cousin. I told her, hey, you know what? I don't have a small change since we are going by auto. Is it fine, or let me try to? Haven't done the currency conversion yet. She told me, Akka, don't worry. You know what? I don't use hard cash anymore, and there are very few people basically who use hard cash. I'm going to just do the transfer via Beam. I said, hey, what is Beam? Then when we got into the auto, I also asked her, do you think the auto rickshaw driver would have Beam or Paytm or any kind of digital payment installed? He said, she said, let me just show you. Once we got into the auto, she just pointed towards the QR code, and she just said, you know what, I'm just going to scan the QR code and I'll do the digital payment. The transaction will happen digitally. I was really, really surprised. So, from 10 years to how technology is being adopted in a span of 4 years. So the adoption of disruptive technology is happening really fast and really quick. So a food for thought for you budding engineers is that by the time you finish your engineering, that is by 2026, I think, how fast would the world change? How fast would newer technology be adopted? So it is very important for you engineers to, keep abreast with the changing technology. You need to know what is going on in today's world. Academics is very important. You need to be academically strong, but I will say, I will recommend, and I strongly recommend that don't stick to only academics. Be overall intelligent. Be overall you need to learn what is going on around you. So this was a slide to tell you that, hey, look at what's going on around you as well. Now the next topic, this is the talk that I want to say during your bachelor's. Like I said in the beginning that, you need to keep yourself really busy and occupied during your bachelor's, because this is your golden period. And what you do in these 4 years will provide us foundation, and they will act as a catalyst for you to build your career, for you to have a good future. Now, when I say busy and occupied, what do I mean by it? Here are some of the points. First is the coursework. For sure, you all are here to get a bachelor's degree, right? And this is not possible without without you clearing all the semesters, all the 8 semesters. And it is possible only when you do your coursework and clear the exams. And many of you actually here would be doing engineering for several reasons, maybe as a coursework, or to pursue higher studies, or to get a good job. There could be several reasons. And no matter what the reason is, I say that engineering instills in you problem solving skills, analytical skills. It also, helps you think in a very detailed manner. It helps you get into the depth of the subject, and also improves your reasoning capability. This is why, and these skills which you learn during engineering, you can apply in your day-to-day activity effortlessly. This is why I urge you students that, when you're doing your coursework, every subject that you have in your 8 semesters, irrespective of whether it is your liking or no, learn your basics well, understand the concepts really well, because you will then easily be able to apply it in today's world. And this is very important. So this is the first one. The second one is physical exercise. I'm not joking, but really you need, I give a lot of importance to physical exercise and sport. You all would have heard of this saying, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. This is true, yeah. Some of you might play sports or do some sort of a physical exercise to stay fit, or just for fun, but don't limit doing some kind of a sport or physical exercise just to these 2 points. There are more things to it than just these two. There have been several research and reports that say that the more physical exercise you do, more blood flows into your brain, which makes more connection between your nerves. And due to this, it improves your creativity, your memory power, your thinking ability, your problem solving skills. Um, would you have thought of all this actually before doing some kind of a sport? At least I never thought of it before I could do some sport. I used to go to aerobics very regularly while I was doing bachelor's actually. It's not just this. When say for example, you are in a team while doing some sport. When you are playing, when you're in this team, you tend to understand your teammates' strengths and weakness. This quality or this skill that you learn while doing sports is very important actually, once you start working. Because see, when you work, you're not going to be working alone. be it when you work for somebody or when you become an entrepreneur, for example, you will always have a team. And it for you to really work efficiently and be happy at your work, it is also necessary to understand how your team members are. So sports teaches you all this. And for example, you're leading your team, you're for example the captain of your team, or for example you are a gym instructor, you know it teaches you leadership skills. It says, so when you are going for a match, say, okay, you win the match, you're very happy, you're very elated, and you motivate your team members. That's quite normal. But say, for example, when you lose a match, that is where the actual leadership skills comes into play. You can't just have your emotional outburst, or you just can't lash on onto your team members. You can't say, hey, you know what, this is your fault, because of you we lost the match. That's not how it is. A good leader will say, you know what, it's okay, there is a lesson to learn. Let's not repeat this mistake in the next match. So this is the leadership skill that you also learn from playing some kind of a sport. And these skills are very important in building your personality as well. Hence I say that, in when you're doing bachelor's, you have sufficient time, so allocate at least 3 to 4 hours per week to some kind of a physical exercise. The next one is extracurricular activities. This is similar to physical exercise. This is very important, or it plays an integral part in your personality development. Along with academics, you should do some sort of a extracurricular activity. It could be anything like arts or dance or painting or baking, for example, like me, or even trekking or meeting friends and having fun. All these are extracurricular activities. This helps in your holistic development. See, when you develop these new skills, okay, it becomes a basis for your hobby or for your passion. And believe me, this passion or this hobby will be useful to you even after completion of your education. Let me take my example. I'm here in Germany, and I'm working. Like I said, I have no support system here. Okay, my husband and me need to do all the household chores. We need to do our own cooking. We need to clean the house. We need to go to work as well. And now that we have a child, we have to take care of him. So can you imagine how monotonous and how hectic our day-to-day life is? We can do and it's very planned. Okay, this first, then this, then this. Our complete day is completely planned. Now if we follow this monotonous work, we can do this for one day or 2 days, but by the third or fourth day we are completely exhausted and we need a change. That's when, for me, passion comes into picture. I love baking. So after an exhausting day, baking is something that really is of interest to me, and I can do it. Once I even a simple cake can make me feel refreshed. I feel more rejuvenated after this small time that I have taken for myself. So this is why I say that have some kind of a passion, have some kind of a hobby. um, and also important is that, see, after your bachelor's, for sure you're going to apply for a job, or you would want to pursue your master's. So when you are sending out your resume or your application, um, a recruiter or a university will see what else have you done along with your academics. If you just say, I have done academics, I've only studied, you don't really have, it is not very appealing. Believe me on this. When you say, yes, I have done, I have studied, I am academically strong, but at the same time I have done this and this, then it adds value. You get an edge over your competition. So this is why I urge you students, you engineers, that allocate a few hours per week to pursue your passion, to do some form of a physical exercise. The next one is keeping up with industry trends. Now we are talking something serious, yeah. Like I said that, it is very important that although you are engineers, you are students, you need to keep up with what is going on in today's world. There was a McKinsey report actually that I was just reading 2-3 days back, which said that India is the fastest digitizing economy in the world. It also says that by 2025, the tech sector will be able to generate 1 trillion economy. That is really, really excellent. Okay. And the report says that in that Bangalore, okay, I also know this, that Bangalore is the startup hub, or it is the next Silicon Valley. Sorry, it is the new and the next Silicon Valley, and this is powering India to be the second largest startup hub in the world. So, do you see how quickly really that things are changing, and how India is adapting and adopting new technology? And you as engineers, you as budding engineers, it is very important for you to keep track. Let's say you are you're having coffee with your friends and in the future with your colleagues. Okay. And this has happened to me in the beginning. um, that okay, they are talking about a technology and I'm not able to, or you are not able to contribute to the topic. It can get very embarrassing. Okay. So don't feel outdated, don't feel out of date. It's because save yourself from this embarrassment. It's not just to show others, but for yourself as well, to build your self confidence, your self esteem. That keep your know what's going on in today's world, know the terms and the lingo what is used in today's world. This is very important. um and so when I say that you can keep yourself abreast, let me give you an example. LinkedIn, or you all must have heard of LinkedIn, right? There is something called as LinkedIn labor market. You can follow this website. You can take a note of this website as well. This where Here you can choose which country's growth you would like to see. This Here you can see basically which are the top skills, which is the top job profile for which companies are hiring, and which are the top companies that are hiring. So this gives you a picture. Say for example, this is the information that I received for India. This is the economic graph of 2021. Majority of the companies are hiring for which role. Now from this I can understand, what are the skills I need to develop. What is it, if I want to stay in India, what are the skills that I really need to be good at? For sure your engineering courses will not provide you with all these skills. So what you can look at is there are plethora of options ahead of you. So say Coursera, Udemy, edX, there are all these platforms where you can you can improve your skills, take up some course, do learn. Believe me, even now, I am doing courses on Coursera because I have technical skills. But when I was assigned a managerial role, I felt a little I was not very confident. So what I did, I took up some management courses on Coursera, and I'm still doing them. So it gives you, it is cheap. And at the same time, there is a lot of learning as well. So this is why don't stick only to academics. Start thinking about how the outside world operates, what is going on in India, what is going on outside India. There are websites like this which will help you in understanding. Okay. The next one. Okay, again on the left, you can see this. Again, I've got it from LinkedIn. These are the top skills as per LinkedIn in 2021 that are important for you to, get a good job, for you to be in that top strata of employment or employers. The next one is explore opportunities. It is a continuation of the previous topic. Yeah, your classrooms, whatever you learn in your classroom gives you a lot of theoretical knowledge. But when you go to the outside world, when you start working, theoretical knowledge is important, but at the same time, you should know how to apply it. Hence, I would say do as many internships or as many projects as possible in these 4 years. Do it in any subject, any field of your choice. There are many advantages of doing these internships or projects. say for example, like I said that okay, you say that I am interested in circuit and system design, so do an internship or a project in this field. It will, whatever you have learned in your classroom, it will help you to apply those concepts. And for example, if something is not clear, you will learn better actually when you're doing internships. So it strengthens your foundation. It makes your concepts more clearer. Another thing is that it helps you understand what you like and what you don't like. When you do an internship, or when students do internship, once they are done with their internship, they're very happy. They say, hey, you know what, I've done an internship. I'm happy about it. But when you do an internship, a very good learning is when you do an internship and you realize you did not enjoy it. This is a very important learning, because this will help you learn what you don't like, and this will also help you from saving you in choosing a job that you don't like. Because um, for me, I would say, if I don't have a good career, it affects me. If I don't have a good job, if I'm not happy with my job, it really affects me. So doing internships, doing projects, even now while doing engineering, will help you what are the subjects, or what is the field that you're interested in. The next one is that soft skills. Yeah, so you do internships in a company, or you do projects along with people, along with your friends, or in a team. Businesses these days, or organizations these days, give equal weightage to soft skills as how much they give to technical skills. So if you want to grow up the managerial ladder, then you need to have good soft skills as well. So internships and projects are going to teach you this skill as well. And the last one is that, again, like when you are putting it in your resume, okay, or when you are putting it in your application, especially in your resume, um, these companies or the recruiters are always looking at people who are industry ready, or who have had some experience in the particular field that you're applying for, because then you can anticipate what kind of problems. You may not be an expert in anticipating, but at least your gut feeling might say, you know what, this could be the problem. And also it helps you, if there are, if you have a competition, if there is another person applying for the same job, or applying to the same university, and how are you going to get an edge over the other? These internships and projects are going to help you, get an edge over the others. The last one I would say is that if I were in your position, okay, if I were in your shoes, what I would do is that the first 2 years, I would actually read, educate myself, see what's going on in today's world. I would do as many internships and projects as possible, try to understand what my likes and dislikes are, and use the final 2 years to actually focus on my career. Because once I know what I'm interested in, you at least get an idea, okay, what your interests are. Then you can start working towards it. You could also decide, okay, do I want to go in for higher studies, do I want to work, and accordingly you can start prepare for your career path. And like I say, you can launch your rocket ship. Yeah. So these are the points, or these are my suggestions on what you budding engineers could do during your bachelor's. The next one is very important, what to do after your bachelor's. Um, yeah, you all are doing bachelor's, but you would want to, you will start thinking about it, what to do after engineering. So these are my suggestions. These are the three verticals that I think you can do after your bachelor's. One is higher studies. Second is a job. Third is an entrepreneurship. Although entrepreneurship is not a very sought after, it was not a sought after path in the past, but now you see a lot of people wanting to become entrepreneurs. So what about higher studies? Um, so see, you can do MBA. MSc, MTech, or civil service. Now, coming to the first one, MBA. Some of you might think, why should I do an MBA after my engineering? um, it is not a bad idea actually to do an MBA. Engineering or BE is going to give you some technical skills, okay? While MBA is actually going to teach you some managerial skills. And do you see that some of the top CEOs in these tech firms are engineers who have gone on to do their MBA? I'm not saying that you need to do an MBA to actually grow up the managerial ladder. It is just a suggestion. It is going to fasten your growth. So you can always look at MBA as an option. You can do it either in India or outside, and accordingly you can actually give the competitive exams. Say you can give CAT if you want to do in India, CAT, ZAT, and there are several other exams. And if you want to do abroad, then for example GMAT, you can prepare for these exams as well. The next one is MSc or MTech. See, I would say MSc and MTech are similar. Now, if you would like to stay in your technical field but would like to specialize, okay, then you can always do MSc or MTech. If you want to do it abroad, then it is called MSc. If you want to do it in India, then you can do your MTech. What are the advantages? Yes, you will get in-depth knowledge of your subject, the subject of your choice. You will improve your network. You will get better job opportunities. So it is good if you would if you're interested in remaining in technical for now at least. Accordingly, you can give exams. If you want to do your MSc, then give GRE, TOEFL, IELTS. And if you're interested in MTech, I think GATE is the exam that you need to give. And do not say that I never thought of MTech. Actually, I did not give a lot of importance when I was in India to do MTech, but there are some given now. I would have probably thought of doing MTech in India. There are some really well-established universities like IITs, NIT, VIT, IISc, for even BNM for that matter, that provide you with MTech. And say if you're interested in even higher studies after your MTech, then there is Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, TIFR, where you can do your PhD as well. So you can do these options. You can consider these options. The next one is civil service. Why I've put it in the end is because I don't have any friends in my network who have actually who is a civil servant. There are very few people who are actually I don't know. That's why I'm saying a few people who pursue this field. But if you want to give back something to the country, then you can always look at this option as well. You can give UPSC exam to become a civil servant. You can do in order to become an IAS, IFS, or an IPS officer. Engineers are always encouraged to take up these exams. The next one is job. Yeah, there are a lot of people who might say that, what, I want to work, I want to take a break after my bachelor, so let me start working. So campus placement is the easiest way to get into a company, and BNM has really good companies coming as well. So make good use of campus placements. Then you have public service undertakings as well that run by the government. So you can look at this option as well. The private sector. So you want to get into the MNCs, or so say for example, you can also do internships after your if you don't get a job of your liking from your campus placement, then you can always create a profile on LinkedIn, and then start looking at what are the which are the companies that are hiring. Are they hiring interns? What are the kind of skills they need? So this is also an option that you can actually consider. The last one again is Indian Armed Forces. The Armed Forces is always looking at engineers for back-end support. They are always looking for these technical support provided by these engineers. So you could consider this as well after your bachelor's. The last topic is entrepreneurship. This is a field that, like I said, was not sought after until a few years back. But now, like I said, that India is the second largest startup hub in the world. So do you see how many entrepreneurs India is actually producing every year? I will tell you this later. So how do you become an entrepreneur? So you recognize a prevalent problem, okay, and then you have a solution for it. Done. The first problem is already solved. You have a problem and you have a solution to it. Um, but and one advantage is that if you want to be an entrepreneur, you don't have to wait for you to finish your bachelor's. While doing your bachelor itself, you can actually become an entrepreneur. You can actually start looking at having your own company. But as an entrepreneur, you may not have that experience, or you may not have the confidence on how to set up your business. You can always avail help or services from organizations like incubators, startup incubators. What are these startup incubators? They are actually these non-profit organizations which offer some services, like, say, they first of all provide you with a workspace. They could help you with, they could give you high speed internet. They will help you grow your business. Then they could help you with your financial management, because you may be only technically sound, but what about your finances? Because you're an entrepreneur, so you don't have a team which will say, hey, you know what, like, I will manage your finances. So there are these people who are going to help you with your finance management. They will help you with networking. Also, how to get loan, how to get seed funding, how to contact venture capitalists. So these are some of the offers that these incubators provide. You can always avail their services. You've heard of Dropbox or Airbnb, right? They were once upon a time a startup. They made use of incubators like Y Combinator, and now you know how they are. So I would say that don't refrain yourself from becoming an entrepreneur. If you have an idea, then do it, then try to implement it, because there are two learnings actually from entrepreneur. One is you learn patience. Okay, you need immense patience if you want to become an entrepreneur. You cannot get success just within a day. It might take some time. It might take a few months to a few years until you have some success. So all you need to have patience. The second one is, even if you fail as an entrepreneur, there is a learning for you. See, when you start a company, you do a lot of research, because for sure, if you don't do research, if you're not different from what your competitor is, then you will not succeed. Okay, so you have to do a lot of research when you want to become an entrepreneur. And at the same time, you are going to look, like I said, you're going to look at different aspects. Like, you have to think of IT, you have to think of web development, you have to think of your finances. How are you going to get your loans? How are you going to open your bank account? There are a lot of things that you have to think of for a legal perspective. You want to set up a company, how are you going to do it? How are you going to talk to a lawyer? And if you want some funding, how are you going to talk to the people to make them believe that you are doing a good job? So there's a lot of thinking that goes into having your own company. So don't be afraid. Even if you fail, it's good, because there's a lot of learning from setting up your own company. And who knows, your company, if you have an idea, you could become a unicorn as well. um, uh, Now I'll give you an information that in the first 4 months of 2021 itself, there are 11 unicorns, the startups that have reached the unicorn status in India, while in the entire 2020 we had only 10 unicorns. So you can just imagine, pandemic or no pandemic has not affected India at all. And NASCOM actually says that by 2025, India could have about 100. This was a prediction in the past that we could have about 100 unicorns or startups that would reach this unicorn status. So, but I think it'll happen way more quicker. We don't have to wait until 2025. So, always consider this option. And I would say if you want to be your own boss, then you can always consider entrepreneurship also as your career option. Now that we just spoke about entrepreneurship, this is the last topic that I would like to touch upon. My husband and his brother, they have started a company called Career Banana. I hope you all remember this name, Career Banana. So I would call it my company as well because it's my husband's. So I have all the rights to. So here, what is it? It is basically we are in the edtech sector, that is educational technology sector. So what is it? Let me tell you what is the problem we are seeing. This was a problem that was identified by my husband because he did his PhD in Uni Stuttgart, and while doing PhD, he was also a course director for an international master's program. So, and Uni Stuttgart is one of the best universities here in Germany, and a lot of Indians actually applied to this university. So what he actually saw was that a lot of these students were applying via consulting companies. Okay. He interacted with students as to why they are coming via consultancies. So when you guys come to your third year or fourth year and start thinking of, wanting to pursue your higher studies abroad, you might, your friends or your family members might say, hey, you know what, this consultancy is good. They will help you get into a better university. They will help you guide better. They will guide you better, or they will review your LORs and SOPs better. And then listening to them, you might go to these consultancies. Okay. And then what, they are going to speak to you very well, very beautifully, use the best of best words that they can and catchy phrases, and they are going to make it sound like you are crossing an ocean. Okay. And getting into a university abroad is the most difficult thing that can happen to you or that you can do. And then you get afraid because you have no exposure or experience, and then you say, okay, let me go via this consultancy. And then what, you end up shelling a lot of money. A lot is what, like, I have heard people spend like about 80,000 to 1 lakh rupees on just these consultancies. um, just think, is it really that difficult to apply abroad? Yes, you are all first timers. You will have several questions. This is one part of the problem. The second problem, the not so expensive one, is, yeah, you have a lot of questions and you do not want to shell out a lot of money. So what do? You go into these into Facebook. Okay. So you say, you do what? You ask questions. There are several groups on Facebook, like Indians in Germany, Indians in Deutschland, Indians in US, and things like this. So you post your questions there. There, it's seldom that all your questions are answered. If you have 10 questions, say probably 2 or 3 are answered, and that too maybe not to the level or to the degree that you expect. So this is where Career Banana comes into picture. What we are, the service that we are providing is that you as students, you as our prospective customers, whenever, right from the stage you start thinking, I want to go abroad, till the time you reach your destination, that is till you reach the university and you finish the admission, we will help you. Career Banana is going to help you. What is it? When you have any questions, say for example, you have any doubts during this process, you can always contact our mentors. Who are these mentors? They are those who are at the either they have studied, like my husband and me, we are also mentors in this company, and we have a lot of students who are currently studying in German universities. As of now, we are focusing on Germany, but in the near future, we will be spreading to other countries as well. So you can always contact these mentors. You can ask all your questions, and that too, this is not via social media or anything. This is, hey, we will provide you with their number. You just register online, you book a calendar date, and then once you book a time slot, you can contact them, be it on mobile or on WhatsApp. You can WhatsApp them, or you can have a telephone call with them, and all this is available at a very nominal price. There are other options services as well that these mentors are going to provide, like profile evaluation. You can ask them, if you want to apply to a particular university, what is it that the university expects from you? If you want to get an admit, what are the things that you could do? What is if you want to know more about the courses or university or SOP review, application form filling, because sometimes it could be in German and you might find it hard. So we here in Germany, we can always help you. And then once you arrive in Germany, for now and in the future, when you go abroad to any other company, when you arrive, we can help you. We could have buddy programs wherein we can help you with all your accommodation and admission process. So these are some of the services that we are providing. We have these are some of the famous universities in Germany. We have mentors from these universities, and many more. We are also active on Facebook, Insta, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Another thing, so maybe you might have to wait for this until you're in your third year or fourth year. Well, you can avail it even now. There is one more thing that our platform is providing. If you would like to learn German, then we have tied up with Gujarat's best German teacher. She is also in the panel of the German committee panel. So this will be available by the end of this week. So you can do online courses, you can register, and you can start learning German. You don't have to learn German only to go abroad. Whenever you're applying for a job, even in India, I have seen that, they ask which are the languages and if you know any foreign language, that's also good. It adds to your kitty, yeah. So you can learn German as a foreign language, so you can avail this service as well from us, and all this is online. So try out Career Banana and hope, and we will guide you through your career, okay, and help you make your career. That's it from my side. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for a wonderful presentation. I would request the students, if they have any doubts or questions, they can post it in the chat. Dear students, you can ask your questions.
Are there any questions?
Yeah, I think there is one, ma'am.
Okay.
They're asking that is Career Banana only for Germany. You can take a look at the questions in the chats.
How do I find these chats? That's what I'm looking at actually. As of now, I can't find where this option is. But okay, let me just answer as of now. As of now, yes, it is. We are having this service for Germany, but in the future we will be extending it to other countries as well, like US, Australia. Yeah. So, but yes, for now it is Germany. But keep looking at our website, because we will communicate to you when we have for other countries as well. But you can keep looking at our website and follow us on social media.
The other question is, ma'am, is it hard to get a job abroad immediately after engineering?
During this pandemic time, yes. it is difficult. So see, you know, with US, they are not accepting people who have studied in the US itself, who've done their masters, are finding it hard to get it's hard to get a job for them. So if you directly go from India, like after your bachelor's, yes, it is very hard. I'm not sure if you can really get one. You can always try, but even in Germany, it is, what is easier is, if you're that interested, then start working for a German company or US based company, and then if you're able to go on site, that's a good option. But if you directly apply to a company, the chance is very bleak. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your answers.
Yes, you're
and
welcome.
The director of BNMIT, Professor T.J. Ramamurthy, sir, he extends a very, warm regards to you for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. I think there is another question.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible to avail internships abroad?
When would you want to avail these internships? While doing masters, or after your bachelor's, or when do you want to do internships? Okay, let me just answer this. Okay, when you're doing your masters, for example, in Germany, I can say, or even in the US, you can work, and you are paid very well as well. Especially in Germany, you are paid very well. And a lot of students actually do take up this, to earn their living expenses as a student. So like even what I did as a student research assistant. So it is possible. Now, after your bachelor's, to do an internship, it depends. There are some universities, which already have tie-ups with international with universities abroad. So this way, you can do internship. You can get international exposure as well. But directly after bachelor's, if you want to do an internship, see, it's not that easy, because a lot of the visa process and all this gets involved. And for example, in Germany, if you want to come, you have the process of having a blocked account, a bank account, and things like this. So it is a little you have a lot of processes involved. So just to do an internship, it's not very common. But yes, while doing your masters, for sure you can do internships, you can do a normal student job. All these options are also available.
Ma'am, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for clarifying the doubts and also talking to our students and taking your time out to talk to our students. Thank you very much on behalf of BNMIT, ma'am.
Thank you very much for inviting me once again. It was indeed a privilege.
Thank you, ma'am. And my dear students, the feedback for the today's session is shared in your chat box. You can take a look at it and give your feedbacks. Thank you very much for joining the session. Tomorrow again, we will meet at 10 a.m. for our next session.
Thank you, Ankitha.
Program. And I also take this opportunity to thank all the professors who have joined us, and also my dear students. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you, Praveen.
Thank you, ma'am.